Breaking news. Well, it's almost official. At least it's officially announced. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg telling the Financial Times that he is eyeing a run for the White House in 2016. Joining me now, Daron Shaw, Congressman Marsha Blackburn, Rich Lowry, and Jillian Melchior. All right, Daron, how does that change the polls? Let's say he does jump in a month from now.
Well, I think a lot of this is premised on who he thinks is actually going to be, involved in the general election fight. So
let's say a Trump and anyone else on the GOP, on the Democratic side. I guess he wouldn't go against Hillary. Was that it?
Well, I think initially the thought was that if it were a Sanders-Trump race, then he would almost certainly get in. Hillary complicates it, but let's say he goes anyway. There's a little bit of polling out there to suggest, and it's sort of unnamed, but the top-line numbers suggest he's drawing in the low 20s. I'm a little dubious of that. I think once you get outside the New York bubble, I don't actually think Bloomberg is all that well known. And if that's the case, there's all sorts of potential with the guy with all sorts of money who can kind of write on a little bit of a blank slate. On the other hand, the idea that he's going to walk in there and people are going to say, wow, this guy has been awesome for New York and he'd be great for the country.
Apparently he's the 9th richest person in the world at $42 billion, so he's got the cash, and we know he'll spend it. Okay. Here's the thing, though, Marsha Blackburn. What he spent his money on so far, he has not really been successful in trying to sway people on things like the gun issue. So I'm not so sure what his populist message would be or how it would work.
Well, and we're at a time where people want less government, not more. And they are...
But don't we need someone to teach us not to drink those big gulps?
No. You can have your big Slurpee all day long, but I don't think that his type politics is what they're looking for right now. I think that they're more focused on the security issues.
What do you think, Rich?
I think if Trump wins a Republican nomination, there's an opening for him, because Trump is going to pull among working class and working class Democrats in a very interesting way, but he's presumably going to underperform among college-educated women, among Latinos, among suburbanites, and that's the potential for Bloomberg. And if I'm Trump, I want Bloomberg in the race, because I think that Trump would have a better chance of winning a three-way than a two-way against Hillary.
What do you think, Jillian?
I'm just blown away that we might end up with an election where 3 lifelong Democrats are running. Two of them are independent, independent Republican. They're veterans of New York's incredibly corrupt
3
politics.
New Yorkers, a quasi-New Yorker.
Yeah, this is insanity.
America, you won't have any choice but New York values.
It's insanity. But I'm just aghast.
Well, I think, Rich, listen, when Michael Bloomberg first announced that he was thinking about running for mayor in New York City, I thought he was joking. I didn't believe he was serious. He was extraordinarily successful.
Well, what you mentioned about we know he's willing to spend, in that first run, back when he was actually a Republican or pretending to be a Republican, he sent a radio to every single Republican in New York City. And Donald Trump has a lot of money, so far shown very little inclination to spend it. That's not going to be a problem with Michael Bloomberg.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Marsha Blackburn, great having you in studio.
Good to be here.
You too, guys.